So good morning, woodpeckers. This is Tuesday lesson, which is the 12th, okay, and it will be the last kind of formal lesson that we do. The rest will be kind of recap lessons that we will post, but we probably won't be putting on any videos. Okay, so today you're talking about factor pairs. What numbers kind of work together when you are multiplying? And the key word today is this should be done mentally. You should be able to answer most of these questions, if not all of these questions, in your head without having to write any down. So one example they give you, if you have these three numbers and you need to multiply them, okay, so 2 times 5 times 6, you should be in your head be able to look at a relationship between two numbers, i.e. they are pairs of numbers or factor pairs, that when you multiply them together, they give you a nice round number which you can then use to complete the sum. So if I will look at those three numbers, I'm naturally drawn to the number 2 and the number 5, because when you multiply them together, you know that it makes a lovely 10, okay? And then when you multiply 10 by any number, it's a lot easier than multiplying any other number. So you're looking at relationships, you're looking at pairs of numbers that fit really well together when they are multiplied, okay? So that's an example that you're given. Let's just work through how we answer it, okay? So we can either write it 5 times 2 or 2 times 5. It doesn't matter which way around we write it, because we should know now that they are commutative, okay? The answer is going to be the same no matter whether we times it by 2 times 5 or 5 times 2, okay? They are commutative. It gives the same answer, and that's again what Mrs. Nicholson was stressing last week on Friday and what I mentioned again on Monday's lesson. Okay, so we need to work out what the answer is for that first multiplication. If we multiply 2 and the 5 together, we get 10. Okay, so that's part 1. Do part 1 first. We are still left with the number 6. We need to multiply the first answer by 6. Okay, so it's simply then 10 times 6 and it equals 60. Okay, that's how straightforward it is. Okay, you could do it another way, okay, but it might be a bit more complicated. So if I did it this way, 2 times 6 equals 12, and then I multiply by the final number, which happens to be 5, and this time 12 times 5 equals 60. You might be able to do it that way, only because we've been using the 12 times table and the 11 times table for the last week, okay? But you need to look at factor pairs. These two numbers work better than the 2 and the 6, okay? Multiplying by 10 is a lot easier than multiplying by any other number, okay? So look for patterns and relationships between numbers. This might be a question you get, 4 times 6 times 5. Again, what will you do first, and then what will you do second? So which pairs of numbers might I multiply first, because they have a relationship, okay? That's what you're going to be doing. And the key word is you should be able to do most of these in your head without having to write them down. You will write them down for me, because that's what I expect you to do, because I want to see how you got the answer and see which factor pairs you are choosing. But you should be able also to check your answers mentally, okay? So I still want to see it written out similar to the way I've done it, okay? Step 1 and then step 2. There's step 1, there's step 2, there's my answer. And if you could underline your answer, it will be really easy for me to read. But look at the relationship between the numbers. Which are the factor pairs that you multiply together first, okay? And then you can finish the multiplication sum off. Okay, best of luck with that.